We'll start with a back roll. Kind of want to start all our sessions that way because it's just a really nice way to get into the foam rolling and relaxing the muscles. Even though we're chest and hip flexors today, we're going to just start out on your mat, working up and down the spine. So this foam roller, you're going to put it perpendicular to your spine. And you're just going to start, we're going to start here, just a couple of minutes of going up and down the spine. Now, when you go up, you want to go up to about where the neck meets the shoulders. And then when you go down, you want to go down to about your last rib. And any point in between that feels like it could use a little extra work, a little tight, you can stay there and kind of rock yourself back and forth over the foam roller. And so you're just giving your head a nice little support with your hands behind your head. Not pulling your neck up or anything, just supporting your head there. So I know a lot of you have done foam rolling before, but for some of you, foam rolling is a relatively new thing. So just wanted to touch on that briefly, like why we're even doing it. Similar benefits to a massage in that you're bringing circulation to the area, more circulation that you're working on. And also you're going to find some benefits of just getting that muscle to relax. And even if there are some injuries or some tension from massage or from training rather, this massage type benefits that you're getting from the foam rolling can bring some of those healing elements to the area that we're working on. So we're really just trying to increase the circulation, and the pressure of the foam roller against your tissues can really help bring some of that in. And then combining it with the stretching is more like completing the picture, getting the muscle to elongate with that stretch. And that is going to be our goal in all of these sessions. It's just getting everything to relax and be a little less tense. Okay, so we are going to get started with chest today. Now, I know some of you know what the pecs are, where they are, but I do have a picture I want to share with you because it's just going to help to have a visual as we're working on this for the muscles we're working on. So you see the picture on the left, the chest area where those muscles are here. Those are your pecs. And as you can see, for us women, that's going to be underneath some of the breast tissue area. So what we're going to do is focus on just this area up in here. Otherwise, it's going to be uncomfortable to obviously work in some of that sensitive tissue area. So here and into the shoulder is where we're going to be working. And for the most part with the foam roller, we're going to be on like face down on the mat, but just kind of showing you where your foam roller would be underneath of you is about this position here. So not on the arm, you want to slide a little closer to your chest, and that's where it's going to sit for what we're doing. So let's start with it under the right side, the right pec, and you're going to be face down on your mat here. Get myself so you can see. And so all the things we do with the foam roller and stretching, you're trying to get your body as relaxed as possible. So I really want you to kind of just like, almost like you're going to take a nap. So get really relaxed on your stomach here, but get that foam roller into that pec area, and you're going to just kind of lay on top. And what we're doing is an active release here. So that means foam roller is not going anywhere, but the muscle is actively moving. So you want to just rest your head on the mat, and with that right hand, you're pressing up and away. And what that's doing is moving that pec muscle up and down on top of that foam roller. Now, you may need to move it to the left or to the right, just like a half inch. It shouldn't be feeling like it's pressing on bone, like this shouldn't be painful. So if it is, maybe just move it away from your armpit just a little bit more towards your chest. But what we're doing here is going in and out and actively releasing that pectoral muscle. So after all these push-ups we did today, not today, but this week rather, that should feel pretty good to you to get that area worked into a little bit. Okay. All right, so now let's switch sides. So left side is going to have that foam roller on that pec muscle. So you're going to lay your head down on the mat again, as relaxed and as comfortable as you can feel here. You can even put a pillow under your head if you have one, but it's not necessary. Just whatever you need to do to get comfortable. And then you're raising that left arm up past your head and bringing it back down. So you're straightening that arm out and bringing it back down. And here again, adjusting it if you need to, if it feels like it's catching on any spot or just not feeling quite right. Sometimes you have to make a couple adjustments to get that pressure on the right spot to where it feels like a good massage or even a good kind of hurt, but you don't want to be feeling like you're struggling through this. Good. Okay, a few more seconds here. After this, we're going to go into a stretch I really think you're going to like for the pecs. Okay, so here's where you need your pillows if you have them. If you have a longer foam roller, you won't need your pillows. So take a look at what I'm doing here. So the foam roller, just whether you have a long one or a short one, you're going to be supporting your head on the foam roller. You're going to be laying on top of the foam roller. So you want the foam roller to be almost to the top of your head. And then the idea is that you are going to be lying with your arms out open like this, and that is your chest stretch. So if you do that, if you have a long foam roller, then you're supported under your butt. But if you don't have a long foam roller, see how I'm just kind of hanging out here? That's where you can stuff a couple pillows in, because what are we doing? We're stretching, but we're relaxing this morning. So that is going to feel much more supportive. Like you can just lay there, like you can almost take a nap here. So let's get in this position. Foam roller under your head. If you have a long one, that's all you need to do, because your sacrum is going to be resting on it as well. But you're just letting those arms move straight out to your side and sinking down to the ground. Trying to feel that stretch throughout your whole chest and feel that area opening up as you lie there on top of your foam roller. Take a few deep breaths. It's going to help you relax more if you just take a couple conscious deep breaths. All right, move in here for a few seconds. Maybe you can feel that you're stretching, those arms are getting even closer to the ground. We've got one more foam roller. We're going to stay here for a few seconds in this stretch more, but we've got one more foam roller work in the chest. With both the muscle groups we're working today, we're doing active release, where you're moving the muscle and the foam roller is staying still, and we're doing a different focus where the foam roller moves. So two different types of movement. One, the foam roller stays put. Two, the foam roller moves back and forth. Okay, so we're going to get out of this stretch here. The foam roller is going to be moving on this next pec mobilization with the foam roller. Before, we didn't have it moving because we were doing this kind of thing, right? So now the foam roller is going to be, you're going to be on your stomach in that same position. That foam roller is in here but you are going to be moving your body kind of back and forth. So this foam roller, and it won't be moving much. You'll just see it kind of gently moving back and forth, but we're going to massage in that area with the foam roller. So let's get in that same position where you were last time. And instead of that arm going up, you can see I'm just kind of moving my body from left to right. And really this foam roller is only traveling like an inch to the left and to the right, but I'm kind of just moving back and forth on that foam roller. Be careful, you know, as you get in more towards that tissue, that sensitive tissue in your chest, you don't need to be pressing too hard on that because that will be uncomfortable for obvious reasons, but go as far as you can before getting into that area that's too close to the middle of your chest, and then roll back out towards your armpit. So like I said, it's little movements here. Try not to feel like you need to hold up your body too much. You can rest your head on the mat. You can rest both arms on the floor. As always, we're trying to do as little work as possible to get into these stretches and these mobilizations with the foam roller. Okay, so let's switch sides. Left side now. Get that foam roller under that left pec. Relax your arms, relax your head onto the mat, and you're just rocking to the left and the right with your torso to get that massage into that left pec muscle. You'll notice if you go too far, like you're trying to go down your arm, that gets really uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like a good massage because you start to get on the bone there. So try to stay away from your arm and more in towards the chest. Good. So your torso is just kind of shifting left to right. Right. And let's get back into now. Let's hang out in that chest stretch one last time before we move on to our hips. So let's lay on the foam roller, pillows if you need them for support. Make sure to support your head. So the foam roller, the top of the foam roller is supporting your head. And then you are just going to lie there and let gravity do the work. This is one of my favorite stretches because you're really doing nothing except for just lying here. You're not holding yourself in a position. You're just letting gravity open you up in the chest. This is a very relaxing move too. Like if you've had a long day, you've been hunched over a computer and you just need to decompress and kind of recover from that. Even just a minute or two, like if you have a foam roller to just lay on it, open up like this can really kind of feel like you've undone a little bit of that hunching over on your computer. So it opens up your chest. Okay. All right. So chest is done. Let's take a look at the next muscle group. It's picture time again. So I'm going to share that with you. So now we're looking at the legs here. And the hip flexors, just to show you, hip flexors, if you can see what I'm doing here, this is hip flexion, bringing the knee up towards the chest. We do a lot of that in fit camp, so especially this week, why I thought of this today. But this specific red muscle here, that's your TFL, that is one of your primary hip flexors. So we're going to focus on that today. But in order to work on it, I need to tell you how to find that muscle. So here again, take a look. That's where it is, kind of the outside of your hip. And together, we're all going to go into finding that muscle. So you're standing, and I want you, with your right hand, to place kind of where you saw on the picture, that red muscle on the outside of your hip. And you're going to just stand on the left leg and take the right leg and twist it in and out like a windshield wiper. So you're going to point your toe towards your other foot and you're pointing it away from your other foot. So especially when you point your toe towards your other foot, can you feel that muscle popping out under your hand? Right? You straight leg and just twisting it in and out, you can feel that TFL muscle popping out under your fingers, okay? Try it on the other side. So left side, twist the foot out and in. Don't twist your torso at all, just twist the leg. And you should be able to feel that muscle popping in and out. All right, that's the TFL. That is what we're gonna work on for hip flexor portion of the next foam rolling. So we're gonna start with your foam roller, whether it's long or short, you wanna have it right here. Doesn't need to go any much past your midline. Just keep it right here. And the rest of it's gonna be stretching out off to your side. We're gonna start on the right side. So we're gonna be lying on the ground, again, on our stomachs, and moving that foam roller up and down. So how do we do that? Well, let's first find our most relaxed position. So you can see here, I've got both of my forearms on the mat. I'm kind of resting my head on my forearms. And now you're just going to move your body forwards and backwards over that TFL. Now you found it, right? So you know exactly where to work on that. And you might need, so this is on your right hip flexor, you might need to bring that left leg up just a little bit. You can see how I'm doing that to really get into that right side TFL, because you're kind of going towards the outside of your hip. So you might need to get a little bit twisted onto the top of that foam roller. So up and down, foam roller is moving underneath of us. So this is maybe not one of the most comfortable areas to work, but so important. If your hip flexors are tight, you want to go right here and get this TFL loosened up. Like from all those step-ups we did this week, especially, this area really can get tight. If you do a lot of mountain climbers, bringing that knee into the chest, this is going to get tight. Let's switch to the other side. So foam roller goes under the left hip. And you just kind of lay in the most relaxed position as you can. Once you find that, then move your body slowly up and down, just a couple inches up and down. So we're working into massaging that hip flexor area. Good. All right, a few more seconds here, and then I'm going to take you into our first hip flexor stretch. And I'm going to help you target that TFL area specifically in that stretch. Okay, so we're going to be staying on the mat. Let's start out by stretching that right hip flexor. So take your left leg, step it out in front of you. You're kneeling on your right leg. And what you want to do is sink forward. So if you can see what I'm doing here, I am sinking forward. So that in itself is a good hip flexor stretch. We do that all the time in Fit Camp. But what I'm going to help you do is get into that TFL more, which means we need to internally rotate. So I'm taking my back foot and moving it out away from my body. I'm actually going to do it so you can see it from behind. Taking my back foot and moving it out a little bit like that. As soon as you do that and lean forward, you're going to feel right into that TFL area. Really targets it. So let's hold that, keep holding for a few seconds, and then we'll switch to the other side. You're leaning forward and twisting that back foot out away from you a little bit. Good. Okay, and now let's try that on the other side. right foot in front of you, left knee back, rotating that left foot out away from your body a little bit, still maintaining that forward lean, and we're getting right into that TFL. TFL stands for tensor fascia lata, which now you can understand why it's just called TFL. Who wants to say that all the time? TFL. All right, a few more seconds here. And then we're going to go into an active release for the TFL, which is where the foam roller doesn't move, but we're moving our body over the foam roller. Okay. So you're still going to have that same position for this active release that you had before, where that foam roller is kind of just hanging out there on your TFL. But what we're going to be doing is kind of how I told you to find your TFL with that windshield wiper motion. So we'll start out with the right leg, and what your right leg's going to be doing is moving back and forth like this. Foam roller is going to stay put, but as you go back and forth, like twisting your ankle in and out, you'll really feel that TFL get massaged on top of that foam roller. So let's start out again on our bellies on the mat. Get into a position where you are lying down, head is on the mat. And I'm going to do this so you can actually see my legs behind me. That's what I'm doing for reference. And now what you're going to do is twist that right foot so your toes are pointed towards your other foot, and then toes are pointed away from the other foot. So the whole leg is twisting. It's not just the ankle. The whole leg is twisting in and out. And I'm sure you are feeling, right, that TFL being worked into with that twisting motion. And you may need to raise yourself up just a little bit. Like you can see my left knee bent a little bit. I'm kind of twisting my hips, so my right hip can be, the side of my right hip can be a little more on top of that foam roller. Fine. Everybody's going to need to work into a little different position here. We're not all going to look exactly the same because some people have certain positions more comfortable than others. But as long as you're feeling that TFL that you know how to find now, that's what I want. Twisting in and out here. So a few more seconds of twisting in and out. Okay, and now other side, stick that foam roller under your left hip area. Again, bring that right knee up if you feel like that's going to help you twist onto that TFL area a little bit more on top of the foam roller. And begin twisting your left foot in and out. So pointing the toes towards the other foot and then pointing the toes away from the other foot. So we do in fit camp a lot of push-ups, a lot of hip flexion. So these are things I hope some of you find helpful in returning to if you're ever feeling tight from fit camp. Wonderful ways to kind of recover from some of the stuff that we do if you're feeling sore or tight. Keep twisting, a few more seconds. Okay, so we're going to use our straps next for our final stretch. So I know we don't all have the same kind of straps. Some of you may be using a towel or a belt or something. Whatever you have is going to work. I'll help you make it work for what we're doing next. We're doing a side lying stretch. So you'll have your band or strap or towel and you want to loop it in half, right? So you're holding both ends. And this loop around the bottom is going to go around your ankle. And you'll be pulling on both ends. So what that's going to look like is you'll be on your mat. And we're going to start with the right ankle, lying on your left side. And you're just going to pull back like this. So you're basically pulling that heel towards the butt and then hanging out in that stretch. Now, I want you to be, as always, relaxed as possible. Take a pillow or take your hands, and you really should have your head just resting. So let's try to get into this position here. Lying on your left side, that band is looped around your right ankle, and you're pulling on both ends. If it's long enough, I find it easy to kind of pull over your shoulder. I'm going to show you from my backside in case any of you are still trying to figure out how to position yourselves here. So that is just kind of pulling up over my shoulder, and you're resting here in this stretch. So let's keep holding that, taking some deep breaths, really feeling that muscle and the hip, front of your hip relax. If you want, you can squeeze your glute, that right hip a little bit, that glute muscle, to force yourself into some more extension and feel a good stretch in the front. This is getting your hip flexor, but it also kind of gets some of your other hip flexors other than your TFL. You can probably feel it pulling a little further down in your leg. All right, so let's switch sides. Put the loop around your left ankle. You're going to lay on your right side. All right, you're grabbing both ends with that left hand and pulling that left ankle back. Ankle's being pulled towards your butt, and you're just relaxing. It's nap time, almost. Put your head on your hand or a pillow. And a couple more deep breaths here as you're feeling that stretch through the front of the leg, on that left leg. Okay. All right, keep stretching here. All right, just about done. Squeeze that glute if you want to get, especially if you've been holding on to this for a little while, just get a little step deeper. Another deep breath. Okay. Hips have been worked and stretched. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming to New Jersey with me. I don't know about you, but I feel a bit more relaxed in my hips and my chest. Hope you do as well. And I will see probably most of you tomorrow. It'll be the same background. Thank you.